whether China's brand new experimental magnetic levitation train can rival air travel. Well, a prototype of the maglev, capable of traveling at 600 kilometers per hour.
Most of us think that China is always busy making cheap stuff for everyone, but it's quietly upgrading our life. What if the next major leap in artificial intelligence isn't in your phone, but in an operating room?
China has built AI robots that will act and work like a wife.
In parts of China, machines are already drawing blood and assisting in surgery.
It's a robot making operation to a human. They cannot put a human there, so they just put a robot. So they hope that in the future, robots gonna help the human in the hospital, in operation, in medicine.
Not as prototypes or future concepts, as working tools. And the question isn't whether they function or not, it's how far their role will expand by the time we make our next visit. Robot doctors take over. China has always been one of the powerhouses of innovation, and if you haven't been living under a rock, you're probably aware that China isn't waiting around to experiment with AI to unlock the next best medical breakthrough. Walk into certain facilities, and you'll find infrared vein-finding devices lighting up a patient's arm like maps. Nurses' job is then to spot the correct one to apply the injectables to their patients, cutting down on second tries and awkward repositioning completely. All possible thanks to sophisticated mechanical tools imbued with AI to bring out even the last drop of potential. Although it's not replacing the traditional nurses with mechanical robots just yet, it's making the process smoother and more precise than ever. In the same facility's corridor, you may find small autonomous AI-powered robots rolling past with trays of medication and sealed lab samples. They can call elevators, avoid people, and log every delivery. And now, instead of sprinting between the pharmacy and the ward, medical staff can stay where they're needed most. Beside patients, research centers are pushing even further, building AI systems that review scans and flag abnormalities in seconds. Doctors review the findings, make the calls, and bring experience into the equation. Some common medical tests are now done in minutes instead of an entire day, waiting or requiring a skilled worker, all completed through specialized software with AI backbones. From the technological shift perspective, it feels less like an invisible robot takeover, and this is actually upgrading the hospital experience every single day. Machines handle repetition and razor-fine precision. Humans handle judgment, empathy, and responsibility. Together, they're reshaping what modern care can look like. Now it's time for something interesting. While many countries are racing to develop AI, China appears to be taking a different approach. A leaked image suggests they may have built a machine capable of creating human-like robots. However, the authenticity of the source is still unclear. If it turns out to be true, it could be quite unsettling. Let us know what you think. Palm Pay on the rise. In some parts of China, paying for something no longer requires reaching into your pocket. At select supermarkets, subway stations, and university campuses, customers hover a hand over a small scanner and move on with their day. The system reads palm lines and vein patterns beneath the skin, linking them to a digital wallet in seconds. It feels almost casual the first time you try it. No phone screen is lighting up or a QR code to angle correctly. Only a brief pause and a confirmation tone signaling the end of the entire process. Major tech companies have been rolling out palm vein payment systems as an extension of China's already dominant mobile payment culture. QR codes still handle the bulk of transactions nationwide, but biometric options are gaining ground in controlled rollouts. The appeal is obvious: speed, contactless interaction, and layered security that's difficult to replicate. Students swipe into cafeterias with a raised hand. Commuters pass through transit gates without breaking stride. It doesn't only scream future, it blends perfectly into everyone's routine. Although this isn't about eliminating cash overnight, the focus is rather on trimming friction from everyday exchanges. When the act of paying becomes almost invisible, the experience shifts completely. The wallet isn't gone and phones still rule most checkouts. Yet in certain corners of the country, your own hand has quietly become enough. Skynet takes flight. Taking a flight to another state is a routine idea for us. But if you step into several major Chinese airports right now, you would notice the usual shuffle of documents feels strangely lighter. Cameras mounted above entry points scan faces as passengers approach. Screens flash confirmations and gates slide open. A continuous flow of movements with the lowest amount of pauses. All possible through highly advanced processing and pattern recognition systems that the country has to offer. known as the Skynet system. At hubs like Shanghai Hongqiao and Beijing Daxing, biometric checkpoints connect check-in, security, and boarding into one streamlined path. Travelers register their identity once, and the built-in AI-based system carries it forward. During busy travel periods, that efficiency makes a visible difference. The same facial recognition software appears far beyond airports. Train stations, office towers, and residential complexes have adopted similar systems. Across the country, hundreds of millions of surveillance cameras feed into AI programs designed to match faces against databases in real time. Law enforcement agencies have also tested smart helmets capable of scanning crowds while officers remain mobile. Supporters highlight reduced wait times and enhanced security coordination. Critics point to privacy concerns and the scale of data collection. Both reactions exist side by side as the infrastructure expands. As AI data collection laws blur the line between efficiency and privacy, what stands out isn't just another science fiction drama, but the normalization of the future. Automated gates, instant identity checks, and silent background scanning are already part of daily movement in certain cities. The technology doesn't announce itself. It simply operates, quietly reshaping how people pass through public space. Humanoid androids. If you think humanoid robots still look like stiff mannequins from an old sci-fi movie, China would like a word. X-Robots has been building androids that look uncannily human, right down to visible pores, subtle wrinkles, and eyes that track movement naturally. They blink, use gestures, and even shift facial expressions using more than 100 separate motion controls. Each unit reportedly costs around $280,000 and takes about a month to complete. That price covers meticulous craftsmanship. Every freckle, strand of hair, every micro-expression is carefully engineered. And this isn't a one-off experiment. The company has produced hundreds of these humanoids and continues scaling output from its large manufacturing facility. They've also recreated historical figures like Albert Einstein and Thomas Edison as interactive robots capable of telling stories about their own lives. Visitors can ask questions, and the machines respond. You'll find these androids working in museums, hotels, exhibition halls, and even public offices. China has also opened a dedicated robot museum where lifelike historical replicas greet guests. Are they replacing humans? Not exactly, but the realism is improving quickly. And as costs eventually drop, the bigger shift won't be about novelty, but rather about familiarity. When machines start blending into everyday spaces, noticing the difference might take a second glance. Sky delivery is here. Now for this one, if you've ever stared at a food delivery app wondering why it still says arriving soon, China decided that this method wasn't fast enough because companies have started sending meals through the air. Meituan has already completed hundreds of thousands of drone deliveries. These aren't random flights zigzagging across neighborhoods. The drones follow fixed aerial routes, almost like invisible highways overhead. Once they reach their destination, packages drop into secure pickup lockers. The goal isn't spectacle, it's consistency. Most deliveries land in about 15 minutes, and the system runs on strict timing. Ground traffic doesn't matter. Traffic lights don't matter. The sky stays clear and predictable. The concept expands beyond city snacks. JD.com operates larger drones capable of carrying between 5 and 30 kilograms. In rural regions where road access can be slow or unreliable, those flights deliver medical supplies, groceries, and daily necessities directly to villages. For residents who once waited days for shipments, that speed changes everything. Distance shrinks and logistics get simplified. Is it replacing delivery workers overnight? No, but it adds a new layer to the network. Once the air becomes part of the supply chain, delivery stops being limited by roads. And when timing becomes that precise, expectations start shifting with it. Training the next generation. The future is not waiting for permission, and it is not asking for patience. China's new machine development is proof of that. It is building new minds. While other classrooms stay focused on basics, Chinese schools are pushing children toward artificial intelligence. Starting this year, kids in Beijing as young as 6 must take AI classes for at least 8 hours every school year. That means millions of students meet algorithms before they master multiplication. The plan goes further. 184 schools have been chosen to test even more advanced AI programs. They are introducing their young ones to the things that would grow them to be future-proof and be the ones to lead the industry, instead of fearing losing their job to AI. By the time these students grow up, the tools they use today will look ancient. They will not just use new technology, they will run it. The pipeline is already moving, and it does not slow down for anyone. The machines are learning. The children are learning faster. The gap is about to get wider. Smarter farming. Now, if you were to picture farming as tractors and open fields, China is adding something else to that image: softwares. Agricultural automation is spreading quickly, and drones are leading the charge. DJI's Agra series includes heavy-lift farm drones capable of carrying substantial loads of seeds or crop treatment materials. Using onboard sensors and mapping systems, they spray fields methodically and avoid obstacles without constant manual control. Night operations are possible, which extends working hours during critical planting or treatment windows. On the ground, specialized machines handle tasks that once required large crews. Cotton-topping robots equipped with cameras and precision-cutting tools move row by row, trimming buds at speeds far beyond manual labor. GPS-guided transplanters plant crops with consistent spacing across multiple hectares in a single day. The purpose isn't to eliminate farmers, it's to increase efficiency where labor shortages or scale make traditional methods difficult. Automation helps manage larger plots while keeping timing precise during planting and harvesting seasons. Costs drop over time, crop output becomes more predictable, and data from sensors informs irrigation and fertilizer use. It's not about turning fields into science labs. It's about blending agriculture with analytics. When farming decisions rely on real-time data and automated tools, productivity shifts, and once food production becomes more tech-driven, the ripple effects extend far beyond the field itself. Cars that think for you. In today's world, most middle-class families can't think of a more efficient commute vehicle than their own cars, and those who are making the next purchase are analyzing all the latest features available, and the AI implementation within cars has made it more appealing for them. And those keeping an eye on China's auto industry, however, already know the steering wheel isn't as important as it used to be. This year alone, millions of new vehicles are launching with advanced driver assistance systems capable of handling large parts of the driving process. In many new models, highway navigation, lane changes, traffic light response, and self-parking come built in. Take the GUA01, developed under Geely's ecosystem. Inside is an AI voice assistant called Simo. You don't just tap a screen. You speak naturally. In supported areas, the vehicle can even summon itself from a parking space and drive short distances to meet you. No need for valet or scrambling through crowded lots. Under the hood, it's powered by dual NVIDIA Orin chips, delivering hundreds of trillions of operations per second. Surrounding the car are high-definition cameras, ultrasonic sensors, and radar systems constantly scanning the road. It doesn't rely on instinct. It relies on layered perception. Does that mean drivers are obsolete? Not yet. Regulations still require supervision, and hands aren't fully off in every scenario. But the shift is obvious. Driving is becoming less about reflexes and more about software updates. And when software keeps improving, the road starts feeling less like a test of human skill and more like a networked system in motion. Dancing at full speed. And in the topic of Chinese cars, some manufacturers have really shifted gears and taken a leap above the rest. And BYD is among the very best in the world in that aspect. If you ever thought electric cars were only about quiet commutes, BYD's Yangwang U9 would like to change your expectations. This all-electric supercar launches from 0 to 100 kilometers per hour in roughly 2 seconds. That kind of acceleration doesn't feel like driving. It feels like takeoff. But raw speed isn't the only headline. The U9 uses BYD's DISYS X intelligent body control system, allowing each wheel to adjust independently in milliseconds. The car can lift itself, stabilize during aggressive cornering, and even perform controlled dance demonstrations by rhythmically shifting its suspension. It looks playful, but the engineering behind it is serious. And the biggest of them all? It can drive with one tire down, adjusting automatically on its own for the missing fourth wheel. With over 1,000 horsepower on tap, the U9 enters territory usually dominated by European hypercars. Yet its price sits well below the multi-million-dollar bracket occupied by rivals like the Rimac Nevera. That pricing shift alone has competitors watching closely. Zoom out, and the bigger story appears. BYD recently surpassed 10 million cumulative new energy vehicle sales, becoming the first automaker to reach that milestone. The U9 isn't just a halo car, it's a capability statement. Electric performance is no longer experimental, it's competitive. And when a company can build a supercar that dances and outruns established legends, the global pecking order starts looking less permanent than it once did. Humanoid robots enter the room. While all that sounds fascinating, you might start to wonder, what about real robots? Humanoid ones we were prophesied to be taken over by? China has an answer for that as well. Let's assume you just walked into a 4-foot-tall robot that walked into the room and bowed before breaking into a martial arts routine. You'd probably reach for your phone. The Unitree G1 makes that reaction understandable. Standing about 4 feet 4 inches tall and weighing roughly 77 pounds with its battery, it looks compact, but it moves with startling confidence. The G1 runs on more than 20 powered joints that let it walk, jog, pivot, crouch, and recover its balance if nudged. It can shake hands without wobbling, sit down smoothly, and stand back up without grabbing support.
Man, that's sweet, bro.
The motion feels deliberate, not mechanical. When it performs choreographed sequences, whether that's a dance routine or controlled martial arts movements, it does so with timing that feels practiced rather than programmed. But this isn't just a stage act. The G1 can carry lightweight items, manipulate objects, and handle simple indoor tasks in structured spaces. Its behavior improves through software updates, meaning new skills don't require new hardware. The real headline, though, is cost. At around $16,000, it sits far below many humanoid research robots that can run into the hundreds of thousands. That price point changes the conversation. When advanced mobility becomes accessible instead of exclusive, development spreads. And once more, people can experiment with humanoid machines. Progress rarely stays slow for long. The future does not wait. The tone around technology shifting. You're not imagining it. In China, roughly 85% of consumers say they're comfortable with self-driving vehicles. In the United States, that number sits closer to 39%. Same technology, very different comfort levels. And China isn't easing into it. Autonomous taxi services are already being tested across multiple major cities. Thousands of vehicles log miles daily on designated routes, gathering data and refining decision-making systems in real time.
Man, that's sweet, bro.
The more they drive, the more predictable they become. Then there's charging, the part that used to slow the conversation. BYD recently unveiled battery technology capable of adding roughly 250 miles of range in about 5 minutes under ideal conditions. That kind of speed changes behavior. Charging stops feeling like a delay and starts feeling like a quick reset. When range anxiety fades and charging times shrink, resistance tends to soften. The math becomes hard to ignore. If an electric vehicle can recharge in about the time it takes to grab coffee, hesitation starts losing ground. This isn't about hype, it's about momentum. One market is accelerating adoption, while another debates the timeline. Either way, the direction is clear. Comfort with automation grows through exposure. And once millions of miles accumulate without incident, the future starts looking less intimidating and more inevitable. Trains that defy the ground. If you think trains are bound by rails, magnetic levitation would like to challenge that assumption. China operates high-speed maglev systems that float above the track, eliminating friction and unlocking extreme speeds. The Shanghai maglev currently reaches about 268 miles per hour in commercial service. That alone cuts travel time dramatically compared to conventional rail. But experimental models have pushed far beyond that, with test prototypes exceeding 370 miles per hour under controlled conditions. When numbers climb like that, geography starts shrinking. A journey that once required half a day can be compressed into a few hours. Business trips become morning commutes. Regional travel feels less regional. Sideways parking takeover. Parking is often considered the toughest of things for some drivers, and some really struggle with it more than others. And owning a car often means needing 3 tries to nail a parallel park. Fortunately for us, the Denza Z9 GT feels like it's showing off. Instead of inching forward and back, it can slide sideways into a space. The rear wheels rotate in opposite directions while the front wheels stabilize the pivot, allowing the car to shift laterally with surprising control. It doesn't just look subtle, it's intentional, and the vehicle glides into gaps that would normally require multiple corrections. Tight city streets and cramped garages suddenly feel less intimidating. Roads built by robots. Now, let's picture highway construction as crews in hard hats lining the road. China has been experimenting with a different image, however. Fleets of autonomous machines doing the heavy lifting. In some remote mining and infrastructure projects, self-driving haul trucks now transport material without a human driver in the cab. These trucks can carry loads exceeding 90 tons and operate in harsh environments, including snow and extreme cold. Guided by GPS, radar, and onboard sensors, they follow pre-programmed routes with minimal intervention. Supervisors monitor operations remotely, rather than sitting behind the wheel. Beyond hauling, automation is entering other phases of roadwork. Autonomous rollers compact surfaces with consistent pressure. Smart paving machines lay asphalt while continuously adjusting alignment and thickness through digital guidance systems. The idea isn't to remove humans entirely, but to increase precision and reduce exposure to dangerous conditions. Large-scale pilot programs aim to expand the number of autonomous construction vehicles operating across industrial sites. As fleets grow, coordination software becomes the backbone, orchestrating timing and movement across multiple machines. Robot dogs take the field. Before we end, we return to our home one last time and cuddle with our furry friend of ours before thinking about the future. Now, let's imagine for a second that your pet dogs are a novelty gadget. Yes, Unitree's Go 2 lineup suggests exactly that. These quadruped machines weigh around 33 pounds and can move with striking agility. The standard model trots at moderate speed, while higher-end versions can reach roughly 11 miles per hour. Equipped with advanced LiDAR sensors, the Go 2 maintains near 360-degree awareness, detecting obstacles just inches away. It can climb uneven terrain, adjust posture dynamically, and recover from minor pushes without tipping over. The movement feels responsive rather than pre-scripted. Voice interaction and programmable behaviors allow users to assign patrol routes, inspection tasks, or choreographed demonstrations. In industrial settings, robot dogs inspect pipelines, monitor construction zones, and access spaces too narrow or risky for people. A wheeled variant can carry lightweight equipment across rough ground. These machines have already appeared at major public events, assisting with logistics and drawing crowds curious about their lifelike motion. Law enforcement and emergency services in several countries have also tested similar platforms for reconnaissance. Are they replacing working dogs tomorrow? No, but they expand what's possible in environments where durability and repeatability matter.